to the ocean!
Follow along for some sailing shenanigans as we go north exploring the sea, the sky, and everything in between.
Bye, Newport!
In today's episode, we plot a course off the coast of Oregon and north towards Nia Bay and the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
Alright, rounding out the end of the first day. Pretty exciting start. Now, tuckered into a pretty calm, reasonable jaunt for the afternoon. Sun's about to go down. I got a good nap in, good dinner. AIS seems to work. There's a few fishing boats to avoid over the night, but I think I'm gonna hunker down and do one final check before the night. Take care. So, just got into some dry clothes. It's been raining for the last 4 hours. Got into dry clothes when I got a break in the wind, but now there's another squall coming. I turned a little further offshore so that I could catch wind on the beam in order to get a break. The main autopilot electric is it's grinding gears. So I got the wind vane tuned. The wind vane just it sails great on a beam, just not downwind. It gets too squirrely. Yeah, reduced down to 3 knots for the night so I can get a few naps in. No boats on the AIS till I get to the other river gorge. Pass through a whole fishing fleet here by Tillamook Bay, and I don't think I'll see another one till the Columbia Basin. So,
Good morning. It was a bit of a restless night dodging through fishing fleets, but I'm starting today off with a good breakfast. The first day was all about getting far enough offshore for some clean air and comfort. A lot of people ask me whether it's scary to be out of sight of land. No, it's actually a very comforting experience. There's less to hit. It's kind of how a plane will rise up to the jet streams to get its cruising altitude. I'm now far enough offshore that I can relax a bit. Even though it's still good to do a 360 check, I'm far enough offshore for most fishing traffic, and it's too deep for crab pots.
we're sailing. Got the Genoa pulling us downwind to Washington. Got a good southerly. Started raining a bit, so sitting here in the hammock with an umbrella set up. Gonna get some rest. The AIS I set up is I say set up a lot. Really setting myself up for redundancy, ain't I? Anyways.
I had a nice nap in the morning rain, but once the sun came out, it burned away the fog, and this lowered the density there. Without the moisture behind it, the little wind I had before was giving me less push. So I rolled away the Genoa and started setting the whisker pole. Rigging a whisker pole and setting a spinnaker can be a daunting task for a solo sailor, even in the nicest weather. This took me about 30 minutes all in all, running back and forth. It's a lot of work, but once it's up, it's worth it. So I'm going to leave you with a time-lapse of that process and some piano music I played at my parents' farm before I left for this trip. Sailing is a balance between the whims of the wind and the will of the waves. It's never just as simple as a forecast. Now on paper, I'm supposed to see 10 to 12 knots from the southeast. And that is the prevailing wind, but there's so many other factors before it actually gets to your sails. One of those factors I noticed on this trip was the sea breeze and land breeze cycle. It's a phenomenon where the sun heats the land quicker, creating an updraft and onshore wind, and as night falls, the water retains more heat, pulling that wind offshore. This far offshore, it only caused about a 5 to 10 degrees shift in the wind. Nothing crazy, but enough to retrim the sails and adjust heading. Now here I'm bringing the camera around for my deck check, an all-round sweep of the rigging, making sure everything's aligned. On this check, I found that the spinnaker pole had slid down the track and was pushing on the mainsail's cleat. I had to take tension off of it, raise it back up, and tie it off again, but it was all good.
The wind vane steering the spinnaker up there. So I went down and made a root beer float. Celebrate the second day out here. Life is good.
Sunset brought a lull in the wind, so we went motoring into the night. I was just doing a deck sweep, but noticing how calm the ocean was, I just had to take a moment. Like, this is the Grand Pacific here, and it's as calm as a puddle. Sometimes it's hard to believe that this is the same sea that has sent me sloshed about, struggling to stay steady in a storm. But on this trip, there will be no perilous sea stories. However, the next day did bring trouble, in the form of engine failure, assistance from the Coast Guard, repairing that engine, and finally, entering Nia Bay. But that's all for another episode. See you next time. Just a little side note, this is the first time I've put together a video of this sort, and so I'd appreciate any feedback or advice on how to share the joys of this journey better.